everyone, this is alenajingle. Happy fall. It's been a while since I posted a video and I'm so excited to tell you guys today that I'm planning to start a new video series. A few months ago, my best friend Amelia, who is Amelia EverythingBabyNames on YouTube, challenged me to make a personal top 100 favorite boy name list and a personal top 100 favorite girl name list. And so this is going to be a 10-part series of me talking about my top 100 favorite girls and boy names. In this video, I'm going to be talking about names 100 through 91 for boys and girls, and I just wanted to mention quick that my own 4 children, I did not put their names into this countdown. So at number 100, I have Fox and Shifra. Fox, of course, is an English name that refers to the animal. A couple of years ago, Amelia told me I should get a free trial on Ancestry.com, and then several generations back, I found a great-great-great-great-great-great-grandma whose first and middle name was Adriana Fox. I thought that was so cool. I actually like Fox more for a boy, and so we currently have Fox in our top name combinations as either Gilbert Fox or Tomlin Fox. So this is a name that I have at 100, not because I don't love this name, but because I really could never use it as a first name. I can't see myself calling my own child Fox, but I adore it in the middle name spot very much. Chiffre is a Hebrew name that means beautiful. I love that so much. I first saw this name on a person who was on the show What Not to Wear, this little bitty hippie redhead. And I love it because of the biblical association. They do tend to spell it S-H-I-P-H-R-A-H in the Bible. I like this spelling on the screen a little bit more. And Shifra in the Old Testament was one of the midwives who saved babies during the time where they were killing babies when Moses was born. So I absolutely love that association so much. At 99, I have the names Basil and Marguerite. Basil in English, of course, refers to the spice, and it comes from the Greek word for king. So really great meaning. This is also pronounced Basil in other countries. It's mainly pronounced Basil in the US. This is the name that I fell in love with as a little girl after watching the movie Baby Geniuses. I have a feeling it's not a good movie at all, but I really loved it when I was little when it first came out, and there's an adorable little baby in it named Basil. This is very much a literary name. I can't even begin to name all the associations where they have Basils in the books. Unfortunately, this is a name that I could never use because it does not work well with my last name, but I do adore this name still, and this was actually in the top 1,000 boy names most years through the year 1983, so it's not popular at all right now. Marguerite is the French form of Margaret, which means pearl. I recently fell in love with this name because I was trying to come up with a name that could honor my great-grandma Audra Pearl, who passed away last year. And I've always liked this name, but it's never really had any significance to me. And then I found out that my husband had a great-grandma named Marguerite and another great-grandma whose middle name was Pearl. And so if we were to use Marguerite, it could honor 3 different great-grandmas. I think it is so beautiful. It is the perfect middle name option for us. And if we have a little girl anytime soon, her name will probably be Willa Marguerite. This was a top 100 girl name through 1921 and left the top 1,000 in the 70s, so it's not popular at all right now in the US. At number 98, I have Jacinth and Pearl, 2 gemstone names. In English, Jacinth is of course a gemstone name, and it is a reddish-orange gemstone, and it comes from the Latin word for hyacinth. So I would have never thought of this as a name, but my dad's name is Jason, and recently a friend suggested using Jacinth after a Jason, and I immediately fell in love with it. I can't see us using this name because I have so many J names I love for boys, and I've already kind of used a name after my dad, but I do think this name is wonderful, and if my husband were to tell me that he absolutely adores it or anything, I could totally name my son Jacinth. And then, like I mentioned earlier in this video, Pearl is very meaningful for me. It was the middle name of my precious great-grandma who passed away last year. It was the middle name of one of my husband's great-grandmas. I also have a cousin whose middle name is Pearl after my great-grandma. This is, of course, an English word referring to the little gem, and it actually comes from the Latin word for leg. I definitely think of the scarlet letter with this name. Pearl Print is the little baby from the scarlet letter. This was a top 100 girl name through 1926, left the top 1,000 in 1986, and re-entered in 2007. It's now ranked at 628 and is rising, and I definitely think it would work well on a little girl in 2016 because Ruby is a top 100 girls name right now. At number 97, I have the names Charleston and Heidi. Charleston is an English name meaning Charles's town. This is the name of the capital of the state, South Carolina. And what really draws me to this name is that my husband's dad's middle name is Charles, and there are many, many Charleses in his family. I wouldn't use it because it is so overused. I wouldn't use Charles on its own because it's overused, but I think Charleston would be a great way to honor all of them, and I just love the very distinguished sound it has. Heidi is a diminutive of Adelheid, meaning noble, kind. I really like that. I definitely think of the book and films called Heidi. There's also a model Heidi Klum, and I used to work with a really sweet woman named Heidi at the last job I had. This has been in the top 1,000 girl names since 1939. It was a top 100 name from 1966 through 1983, and is now ranked at 343. This is a name I would totally love to use, but I can't because it doesn't sound good with my last name. But earlier this year, I did a video series on less popular alternatives to the top 100 girl names in the US, and I included Heidi as an alternative to Haley. At number 96, I have the names Elmer and Eugenia, two E names. Elmer is an English name that means noble fame. And of course I think of the Looney Tunes character with that. I actually kind of love that association because my husband's a hunter and we both love the Looney Tunes. I love that Elmer's familiar but not overused, is very easy to spell and pronounce, and I think it would fit in really well with these two-syllable ending in ER trend like Carter, Cooper, and Parker. This was a top 100 boy name through 1932 and left the top 1,000 boy names in 2009. It's not currently a name that's in our top boy combos, but it is one that tends to go in and out, so we could possibly use it on a child in the future. Eugenia is of course a feminine form of Eugene, which means well-bred, and my grandpa's middle name was Eugene, and he had a great grandparent named Eugene, and it is also a family name on both sides of his family. So Eugenia would be after my grandpa, and I definitely think of the character Eugenia or Skeeter from The Help. I really love that association. I like the Eugenia pronunciation a little bit better. This was a top 100 girl name through 1984, and I love that Nia could be a nickname for it. Unfortunately, I've never convinced my husband to like this name, but I could definitely use this, especially as a middle name on a little girl. At number 95 are the names Zebedee and Illyria. Zebedee is the Greek form of Zebediah, meaning given by God. This is a biblical name. It is the name of the father of James and John the Apostles. This is a name I was suggesting a lot to a friend recently who is adopting a little boy whose name is D, and they were wanting to find a longer form of his name. They're going with Thaddeus, which I think is amazing. I did suggest Zebedee quite a lot to them. I always go back and forth whether I like the biblical name Zebulun or Zebedee better. Currently, I'm really liking Zebedee, and I think it's a great Zachary alternative. And again, like I mentioned earlier, I made a series of less popular alternatives to the top 100 boy names as well, and I did include Zebedee as an alternative to Zachary. Illyria is a Latin name meaning lyric band. I think it is so beautiful. This is the name of an ancient civilization and is included in Shakespeare's Twelfth Night. That's where the play takes place. This is also the name of a fictional angel from Joss Whedon's show Angel. And like I keep mentioning in that series I had earlier this year, Illyria was one of my Isabella alternatives. I think Illyria is so gorgeous. I don't quite like it with my last name very much, and my husband does not like this name, unfortunately. At number 94, I have Jethro and Tryphosa. Jethro is an English name. It is the English form of the Hebrew Yitro, meaning abundance. This is the name of the biblical Zipporah's dad. Zipporah was the wife of Moses. Jethro Tull is a famous inventor, and a lot of people of course think of Jethro Bodine from the Beverly Hillbillies. There's a popular food chain called Jethro's in my area that might keep me from using it, plus my husband doesn't really like it, but I think this name is absolutely wonderful, and I'd love the idea of using Jet as a nickname for it. Tryphosa is a Greek name meaning delicacy or luxury, and in the Bible, in the New Testament, there are two Christians that are probably twin sisters mentioned named Tryphena and Tryphosa. I think they are both absolutely gorgeous names, but the reason why I really like Tryphosa is because she could go by Posey as a nickname, which I absolutely adore. I probably would never use this name because I love another three-syllable T name that is biblical more, which is Talitha, and I plan on calling a little girl Talitha in the future, but I do love Tryphosa enough to use it, and I think it is so cool. At number 93, I have the names Leland and Millicent. Leland is an English name meaning meadow land. I absolutely love that. And in my series that I mentioned earlier, I had Leland as a Liam alternative. I actually lived in a town called Leland when I was a little girl, so it's meaningful for me. This is one of my husband's very favorite names. It's so low on my list because I can't picture myself having a son named Leland, but I think if I had enough sons that I could definitely use it because I do love that meaning so much. This has been in the top 1,000 boy names all years except for 1999 through 2004, and it was actually in the top 200s in the early 1900s. It's currently ranked at 381. Millicent is an English name that means strong work. I love that Millie could be a nickname for it. I love the antique feel it has, and I love lots of similar names like Ruth, Alice, and Agatha, and I love this similar Melisande as well. This is a top 1,000 girl name through 1965. and it's never actually been ranked higher than the 400s in the US. So it is a name that everybody knows of, but it's never been popular here. I absolutely adore this name. At number 92, I have the names Jaron and Loretta. Jaron is a Hebrew name that means to sing. I love that meaning so much. I included this in my series earlier this year as an Aaron alternative. I could never use this because I have a son named Theron, and I also have a cousin who is married to a Jaron, so that would be a little bit weird. But I absolutely adore this name. I do think it would work great to honor Jason as well. Which of course, like I mentioned earlier, Jason is my dad's name, and of course that meaning just makes me so happy. I was in band in high school and I just love singing, so to sing is an amazing meaning for me. This was a top 1000 boy name from 1976 through 2011, and it was never ranked higher than 440 in the US, so it has never been too popular here at all. Loretta is an Italian form of Laura, meaning laurel. I could never use this name because I had a great aunt with this name, and my family would find it really weird if I were to name a child after her. But I think this name is so beautiful and underrated, and I love that she can go by Letty as a nickname, and I think Lola would be really cute as a nickname as well. I just picture a little fairy with this name, and I think of the lyric from Blake Shelton's song, Little Loretta, you be my little Loretta, I'll be your Conway Twitty. I think that is so adorable. This was a top 1000 girl name through 1990 and was a top 100 name from 1931 through 1944. And at 91, I have the names Boone and Jerusha. Boone is an English word from the French word meaning good. I just love how this has a sweet, easy country sound. There is an absolutely beautiful town called Boone in Iowa that is a wonderful association for me, and I love that the gorgeous actor Ian Somerhalder played a Boone in the show Lost. Jerusha is a Hebrew name that means wife, and this is the name of the mother of King Jotham in the Old Testament. Jared and Jerusha Hess are the filmmakers who made Napoleon Dynamite, and this is one of my best friend Amelia's top favorite girl names, and so I do have it lower on my list because I hope she will use it. But I think this name is absolutely amazing and cool, and I would love to meet someone named Jerusha. That is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will have my next installment in this series sometime soon. Please let me know what your favorites of this little list were, and have a good day.